We are privileged to welcome today in studio Zimri, Assistant Manager Services, Billing, Rates and Taxes, to talk to us about the 2025-2026 budget and the approved tariffs. Mitchell, very, very welcome in the studio. And please, could you possibly just take us through the tariff increases that were approved by Council and that will kick in on the 1st of July 2025?
Yes, certainly. The approved tariffs are as follows. Property rates, 13% increase in tariffs. The sewage services, 9% increase in tariffs. Refuse removal services, 7% increase in tariffs. Water services, 3% increase in consumption tariffs. 10% increase in basic tariffs. For a consumer using 30 kiloliters per month, the net increase would be 6.32%. For a consumer using 25 kiloliters per month, the net increase would be 6.80%. For a consumer using less than 15 kiloliters per month, the net increase would be 8.11%. Electricity services, 10.81% increase in consumption tariffs, pending approval from NERSA, mainly due to the 12.74% increase in electricity purchases from Eskom. There's also a 10% increase in basic tariffs.
So there's often a question amongst ratepayers that why do these tariffs seem higher than the current inflation rate? Could you explain a little bit more about that?
It is important to understand the difference between inflation or the Consumer Price Index and tariff increases. The CPI is a specific economic indicator used to measure the rate of inflation by tracking the changes in the prices of a specific basket of goods and services, typically purchased by consumers. Electricity at 3.4% and water supply and other services at 3.8% are two components within the housing and utilities amounting to 24.1% of the consumer inflation basket. These two components only make up 7.2% of the total consumer inflation basket. It is very difficult to compare the CPI inflation calculated on the basket of goods and services with a municipal inflation rate. The basket is totally different. The same principle applies in the construction industry versus any other industry. All industries have different cost drivers which influence the specific cost of that industry and therefore its inflation rate. The point to be made is that more than 75% of Mossel Bay municipalities' operating budget is made up of bulk purchases of electricity, the cost of purified water, debt impairment and depreciation charges, employee-related cost, interest paid, and the cost of council. The bulk purchase of electricity makes up 36.35% of the total expenditure budget and was increased with NERSA-approved Eskom tariff increase by 12.7%. The Mossel Bay municipality has no control over this approved increase. The employee-related costs make up 24.95% of the operation budget, of which the living cost adjustment is 5.01%, whilst the rest of employees' benefits like NOTS increases, medical aid contributions, and other benefits cause the overall increase in employee-related cost to be 8.2%. The Mossel Bay municipality's cost of employment ratio stands at 25%, which remains comfortably within the MFMA Circular 71 guideline range of 25 to 40%. It must be noted that there are no new positions budgeted for the 25-26 financial year. A major portion of these costs is directly linked to the end services delivered to the customers. Hence, 75% of the costs listed above, the municipality has no or very limited control over.
That's very interesting. It's a lot of percentages and numbers, but gives a clear picture of why the situation is as it stands and why the inflation rate can't really be a guideline for how the package is put together. Why is there a difference in the tariff increases for water and electricity services between consumption tariffs and basic tariffs?
In accordance with the Section 74 of the Municipal Systems Act, tariffs must reflect the cost reasonably associated with rendering the service, including capital, operating, maintenance, administration and replacement cost, as well as interest charges. During 2018, the municipality embarked on a cost of supply study to be able to analyze our operational cost, to group and allocate cost to each.
Ons begin by 2018.
During 2018, the municipality embarked on a cost of supply study to be able to analyze our operational cost, to group and allocate cost to each of the end services, being property rates, sewage services, refuse removal services, water services, and electricity services. Within water and electricity, the municipality can differentiate between fixed and variable cost. Fixed costs are costs that the municipality incur irrespective of the quantity of the service used by consumers and remain constant month to month. This includes maintenance cost of infrastructure, administration cost, depreciation cost, and other operational costs to run the municipality month to month. Variable costs are costs that increase or decrease in direct relation to the quantity of the service used by consumers. This includes water purchased from Water Affairs and electricity purchased from Eskom. Fixed costs are recouped through basic or availability charges, while variable costs are recouped through consumption charges. Analyzing the budget cost for the new financial year, it was found that the municipality would over-recoup on fixed cost and under-recover on variable cost if the increase in tariffs for basic or availability tariffs and consumption tariffs would be the same. The municipality also wanted to soften the blow on consumers by not increasing the basic or availability tariffs for electricity by the full 12.74 NERSA increase.
Thank you very much for that explanation, specifically regarding the fixed and the variable costs and how the contributions work. Does everybody with a water and electricity meter have to contribute to the fixed costs?
Yes, every property with a water or electricity connection or that have access to the municipal infrastructure should contribute to the fixed cost to make it more affordable and to pay for the cost directly related to the actual cost the municipality must incur to ensure the availability of the service. In the past, municipality had a special tariff for permanent residents, where no basic charges were charged, but where the consumption charge included a portion of the fixed cost. From 1 July 2023, this special one-part tariff was no longer available. All water and electricity connections are charged a basic fee per month, except where a consumer applied for indigent rebates.
That is very interesting. So it basically shows that the load is then spread more evenly in terms of contribution towards the costs. Speaking of this, are there any relief for consumers in terms of the basic charge per month for electricity?
Most consumers have a 60 amp circuit breaker in their electricity meters. Consumers have the option to lower their monthly charge with 50% if they lower their circuit breaker size to 30 amps, or 25% if they lower their circuit breaker size to 45 amps. Consumers must, however, make sure that the smaller circuit breaker is sufficient to power their house before they request for the lowering of amps, as they will only be allowed to make a circuit breaker change once per year. There is a fee of R258.05 payable for any changes in circuit breakers. To apply for the changes, consumer must visit the electricity department's office in Schoeman Street to complete the necessary application forms.
So it basically means that I can manage my basic electricity charge by managing my size of circuit breaker. With the proposed tariff increases, what will be the total increase in the average municipal account as from the 1st of July 2025?
For a consumer with a property with a municipal valuation of 2.5 million rand, using 1,000 units of electricity, 30 kiloliters of water per month, and with a refuse and sewage charge, the municipal account will grow with 10.3% or 540 rand per month. If you exclude electricity increase dependent on Eskom increase, the other services increase lead to a 9.5% or 193.
No worries, if you exclude.
If you exclude the electricity increase dependent on the Eskom increase, the other services increase lead to a 9.5% or 193 rand increase per month. For a consumer with a property with a municipal valuation of 1.62 million, using 800 units per month, 25 kiloliters of water per month, and with a refuse and sewage charge, the municipal account will grow with 10.1% or 438 rand per month. If you exclude the electricity increase dependent on Eskom, the other services increase lead to a 9.2% or 152 rand increase per month. The biggest portion of the increase relates to electricity increases, which is out of the hands of the municipality.
What an interesting breakdown. Almost makes it a little bit more digestible. How can consumers qualify for so-called indigent rebates?
There are 4 categories of indigent subsidies, namely the valuation indigent, indigent level 1, indigent level 2, and indigent household where a person with disability lives. Owners with a residential property valuation of less than 125,000 will automatically qualify. A household is classified as indigent level 1 if they applied and their household income of all residents older than 18 years are less than 4,660 rand per month. A household is classified as an indigent level 2 household if the household income of all residents older than 18 years are less than 9,320 rand per month. Mossel Bay Municipality also assists households where a disabled person is part of the household if their household income of all residents older than 18 years are less than 9,320 rand per month.
Thank you very much for that breakdown of these categories. What benefits do these households receive?
Valuation indigent, indigent level 1, and households where a person with a disability lives will receive 6 kiloliters of free water and 50 kilowatt hour of free electricity per month and not pay any basic charges for water and electricity services. An indigent level 2 household will receive 6 kiloliters of free water and 25 units of free electricity per month and only pay 50% of the basic charges for water services. Valuation indigent, indigent level 1 households and households where a person with a disability lives will not pay for property rates, refuse service charges, and sewage services. An indigent level 2 household will only pay 50% of property rates, refuse services, and sewage services.
So that looks after those that are really struggling financially, but obviously there are certain pensioners that also might find the increase of tariffs a little bit difficult to deal with. Is there any way that pensioners can qualify for rebates?
Yes, Mossel Bay Municipality also assists the elderly in the form of pensioners' discount on rates, sewage charges, and basic charges on electricity. A pensioner household that earns up to 19,910 per month receive a 50% subsidy, whilst a pensioner household that earns between 19,910 and 26,620 per month qualifies for a subsidy of 30%, subject to certain conditions.
All right. So if households want to apply for indigent or pensioners rebates, what must they do and how can they apply?
The municipality is calling on all residents who are within the income bracket to contact DebtPack at 044 620 4480 or visit any DebtPack offices to ensure that those who qualify based on household income receive rebates on their municipal account as per approved policy.
So it's important to make contact with DebtPack. Let us just repeat that number at 044 620 4480. What is the process and what proof will you need when you apply for these rebates?
The account holder must apply on the prescribed application form. The following items must accompany the application: the municipal account number of the household, proof of the account holder's identity, proof of income of the total household, proof of registration of the person with disability, if it is an indigent with a disabled person. A medical certificate to confirm the client's health condition must be obtained at regular intervals to qualify for this support if it is an indigent with a disabled person. A sworn affidavit that the person with disability is a permanent resident of the property if it is a person with disability. Sworn affidavit that the person with disability is a permanent resident of the property. Completed consent form of South African Revenue Services, also known as SARS.
Mitchell, thank you very much for coming into the studio today and unpacking the budget for 2025-2026, the tariff increases and also the help available to residents for us today in studio. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.